What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing great and well. So as you've probably already seen by the title and thumbnail, I'm going to be saying how I wish I knew before I started training. Now this is a photo from me 4 years ago, and this is a photo of me now. Obviously my muscle mass has grown quite a lot, so I'm becoming a certified PT nutritionist. I want to be able to help you guys build your dream bodies and change your lifestyles as well. So I'm going to give you my insights and my top 5 tips on what I wish I knew before I started training, on how I could build muscle and retain a lean body throughout the duration of this period of time, and how to build muscle as quick as possible. So stay tuned, hope you enjoy. Starting off with number 1 is nutrition, okay? Now, your diet has to be on point in order to be able to grow muscle and things like that. Now, in order to be able to grow muscle, you have to be in a surplus. So a surplus is literally just calories just has to be higher than your maintenance. You have to be slightly over. So whatever you burn, you have to eat more, basically. And it's vice versa. If you're in a deficit to lose weight, you have to burn more calories than you consume. So that's how your body fluctuates between weights and how you gain weight. Obviously there's different methods of how much carbs you have and how much fats, but they don't necessarily mean anything. The only main target you need to be hitting is protein. Protein is the only number 1 thing you need to generally hit, because it is the only key nutrient source you need to be able to keep muscle mass, build muscle mass, and have a healthier lifestyle. Like, it gives you more energy, it makes you feel better, it makes you feel healthier, like you just feel all round better. Going into number 2 is practice your techniques and forms. Now, a lot of people out there, and I even see trainers do this as well, they teach their clients absolute crap form, and it's all ego lifting. Like, there's no element of training properly anymore. It's all about form. Now, in order to build muscle, it's not necessarily of hitting heavy weights, because as you'll see in one of my videos now is me doing a bench press and my bum's off the bench and things like that, and I'm completely just like out of sync. So all it is literally just a simple fact of get your technique done firstly. It's all about control of the muscle. So in this case, it's a slow negative down for 2, and it's control, it's then a push, slow back up. It's not speed reps, because otherwise if you're powering it, then it comes to strength training, which is, if you're not looking at building muscle, then you just want to be slow, control the muscle, because what happens is, as you're controlling it slowly, you're creating more of a tension of your muscles, you're ripping more fiber tears, and then you are creating a better growth hormone in your body to grow more muscle, because you're damaging the body more. So that is the key incidence. It's not about weight. Yes, heavier weights come into incidence to build muscle, more growth, but you need technique first, because if you come out of technique and you injure yourself, then it could diminish you long term, and in eccentric become atrophy, which is lose muscle, because you obviously injure yourself and you can't train properly to be able to re-damage those muscles, which is what you don't want. So when I see people, even in PTs, I see people who are training in club, who train people, or they train themselves, and their form is absolutely fucking shit. It's just going to cause you long-term damage to your body, for injury, for your joints, for your muscles. It will not actually help you create more strength in long term. So when you plateau, there's a reason, because your technique's been off. So you have to strip back, and that becomes a mental game then, because you're having to go back. So my advice is, if you're starting out, guys, as new beginners, or if you're advanced, strip back the weights, go lighter, focus on control the weight, control your technique, get that, make sure when you're doing like a bench press, for instance, ensure that your arms are in your right position, you're squeezing your chest at the top all the time, because you're controlling the muscle and you're engaging that muscle part a lot greater, and that's where the fibers you want to hurt. If your technique's off, or you're starting to push in different areas, you're like locking out fully and things like that, then you're starting to use joints, which is your shoulders and things like that, which eventually will cause more harm to your body, because you're putting the weight into the wrong location of where you want it to be hitting. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is literally just train hard. Go into your sessions, get the right recovery period in there as well, because you just got to train literally hard. Like, go in with the mindset of, like, you're going to be there for an hour, smash it and get out, because the longer you sit there and dwell, you're just going to get tired, you're going to fatigue, and by then you're going to kind of like give up, because you're not wanting to carry on that training and you're not pushing your body to its best limit. You want to be able to damage the body in a short, quick time. Like, why would you want to spend 3 hours in the gym when you can do it in 1? So that's tip number 1. So control your time, organize yourself, and make sure you go in there with a full extension of smash your training. That leads on to tip number 4. Ensure you get enough recovery. Because literally, recovery is your main thing. Like, people think they can smash the gym like 7 times a day, but you need recovery to repair the muscles, because it's all about hitting hard, recover better, because that's where your key element is to be able to build the body, be able to retain more muscle mass, really, in a sense, because it's like a battery. It needs to recharge, your body needs to recharge, you need sleep, you need to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, and you need to be able to nutrition yourself to be able to recover your muscles, and that's the simplest fact. A lot of people think they could do 7 days a week, literally train every single day, and they'll be able to grow muscle faster because the volume's there. In a century, yes, but obviously you're going to plateau because your body gets adapted to that position. Without the recovery, you're not repairing the muscle in its proper form, and that's where the growth comes in better shape, because obviously as you rip the microfiber tears, protein synthesis, when you have your protein level at the right level amount. Now if you don't know that, then go over to my website. There's a macronutrient calculator on there. It will tell you your calories to your exact goal, how hard you work, like if you do 1 to 3 days a week, if you train 4 or 5 times a week, and it will tell you how many calories you need in there, okay? And for your macros, literally there's a little box, enter your email in there, and I'll personally email you your own macros and how you can get your results. Now, last tip for this one, tip number 5, do you need supplements? Now, this is a question I get asked a lot, which is supplementation. And supplementation isn't really necessary, in all honesty. Like, I've done a video on this before. If you want to check that out, make sure you check the poll up here. Click that card, it talks to me in more detail, but the simple answer is no. The only supplements I would actually recommend, which is creatine monohydrate and protein powder. The only 2 supplements you actually need to intake to your body. They're both relatively cheap, and they're both so beneficial with health benefits. Protein, obviously, you need to get as your main source of macronutrients you need to be able to consume to be able to build muscle and retain muscle. Creatine is actually scientifically proven. You don't need to cycle it. You literally just take 5 grams per day. Cycle, not even cycle it, just keep taking that every single day, morning or night, your preference, in your pre-workout, whatever you want to do with it. Literally, that is it. Creatine basically is scientifically proven that it doesn't give any side effects, and all it does is it aids to increase your strength and increase your muscle mass. Obviously to a certain degree, because it's not like steroids, it's not anabolic where you can literally increase your muscle mass rapidly like that. It is obviously a long duration. That is what muscle building is. So for bodybuilders out there, they'll know it because it's a constant climb where you bulk and then you cut, and that's the way it is with the fitness industry. It's nothing to be rushed with. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon with your training. It's the same with nutrition. It's all about learning your body, learning its proper ways of what is beneficial for you, and getting you motivated, getting your right sleep in, how you can get that in. Basically, it's a long game, but for me that's been training 4 years, it's now really for the last year when I became a PT is where I've learned the most, and about my body, how to structure it, how to have my right nutrients, because there's different there's different types of carbohydrates, that simple carbs and complex carbs, which are just obviously how quick the energy releases into your body, which converts into glucose, which gives you the energy. But there's also parts then that there's foods that can make people bloated. So someone might have pasta, which is a very good carbohydrate to have because it's slow releasing energy to make you feel more full. But it can make people bloated, and that's what you don't want to happen. You don't want to make people feel shit when they're eating foods, because then it becomes a very mental game and psychological game of trying to force food down, which is not what you want to do. You want to make it as easy as possible and then as simple as possible. So it's all about a balance of learning your body, learning your techniques, and learning how your body reacts to certain types of foods, how it recovers, and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button below and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, then please comment on some of your ideas, and I'll see you all in another video.